What's up, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Don't Play Trent, checking in live from the lab. Back at it again with another video here on the little account where I give you guys tips and tricks on how to grow a little account into a big deal. So without further ado, we gonna jump straight into. It's been a crazy trading week this week, guys. This week, Trump and his tariffs, Trump going back and forth with his trade war with China, have basically fucked my account all the way up. So I basically want to give you guys 3 mistakes to avoid, 3 mistakes that I made this week that fucked my account up. I'm going to show you guys exactly on the chart the exact trade that I got in when Trump announced these tariffs. A trade that basically cost me my account. It cost me my psychology, which is the most important. Not necessarily the money, but it was the confidence and the psychology that I lost when actually losing this trade. So, like I said, I'm going to take you guys on the charts. I'm going to give you guys 3 tips to avoid with Trump and these tariffs and Trump's administration, period. Right, Trump's in office now. There's going to be a lot of millionaires being made, so you guys definitely want to be a part of the markets and definitely want to be a part of the next wave of millionaires that's going to be coming up. So let me take you guys on the charts. I'm going to show you guys the exact trade that I placed this week, and if you guys can you guys guess and see where Trump announced where he's going to be, I guess, cutting tariffs? I don't know, whatever he said, but it was right here in this area. I forgot the exact terminology that he used, that he said, that made this candle pretty much boom. So it was right here in this area is pretty much where I blew my account, or basically fucked my account up. I didn't blow it, but I took a way bigger loss than needed to. So I'll take you guys on my TradeZilla, and I'm gonna take you guys to the 9th. So Wednesday, this past week, Wednesday on the 9th, is where Trump basically announced that he was lifting the tariffs, or it was something that he announced on Wednesday, and basically made me mess up my entire account. So kind of been on a losing streak this beginning of this month with all this news and tariffs going on, but I'm going to give you 3 mistakes that I made this week, and which is why I ended the week in the red this week. So as you can see by looking at my charts, and you guys have been following me, you guys have been following my journey, I've been trying to basically grow this $1,000 account to who knows what. And basically we started off the account pretty good. We were up about $1,800, and then since being up $1,800, we pretty much trickled and went all the way back down to basically like break even at this point. So but this is the trade here that was taken on Wednesday that pretty much made me lose my confidence and pretty much just dragged into the rest of the week. But the first mistake that I made was right here. I took a short. So I basically let the market manipulate me, let the fundamental news manipulate me to thinking that, you know, the market is crashing, there's so much fear, because that's what the news is going to do. The news is going to instill fear into the public to thinking that everything is basically falling, and then while they're doing that, the big boys are loading up. The big boys are buying the deal. So first tip, always be on the buys. Always take buys. This right here was my first mistake. This is actually the first sale that I took all year long. So we're now in April. The first time I take a sell, it cost me. And the crazy thing is, I'm going to show you guys the exact entry. So we actually entered, the first entry was around 1232, and then our second entry was at 249. So I'm going to click one of these entries. As you can see, all of these was placed in the same spot, aka this was all one trade, just multiple entries. But our entry price was where? Let's see if we can find our entry price. And let me go to trade replay. I'm going to see if I can find the exact entry price so I can show you guys on TradingView. So it was right here at 249 is our entry price. Well, let's just go to TradingView because TradeZilla is not working for me at the moment. So 249 here. So let me back this up, and I'm going to show you guys the exact entry So it had to be somewhere in this area. Oh, a little bit further back. So right here. 245. So initially we basically entered a sell position here to come down here. Right? So this was my first basically my first mistake, was where I changed my bias. I let the news and the fundamental news change my bias. I've been taking buys and buys all year long. When you are a trader, you got to understand that the market wants to make money. The only way the market makes money is if people are buying in. So 90% of your trade should be a buy in this market. You should be looking for buys and buys pretty much only. The one time I looked for a sale, decided to take a sale, I pretty much missed out on the biggest trade probably of my career if I would have been in that trade on the opposite side. So that was, the trade was supposed to come here, and as you can see, price did eventually make it down there. But I want to say, yep. So price did make, that was, price initially was going in my direction. If we entered, yeah, so we must have entered down here, and our TP is usually only 20 pips. So with a tight stop loss, price pretty much came right back and took us out. And then price sold to my TP level, right? But this was already later in the day. So on this particular trade, I was in the right trade at the wrong time, but I was breaking my rules because I was in a sell. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't see, I saw and called the trade down to perfection, but I was breaking my rules because I should have been buying and looking for buy opportunities in the first place. Now my analysis was right. I did think that price was going to go down here in this level, which on the higher time frames, this is a weekly level. This is a weekly level. Let me go to my other chart so I can show you where I was going to take price to. So this is what I was anticipating price to do. Once price came down into this level, which is the same exact graph that I was just showing you guys. I'm just on a different broker. So this is Oanda. I think the other one is like FXCM or something like that. But I was initially thinking that with all this sell pressure going on and all this news and chaos, that the market was going to continue to drop. So I ended up getting into another entry down here, 184.772 down here in this area. And let's go back to TradeZilla to see if I can find that exact entry. And let me see. Let's see if TradeZilla loads up for us. So while we wait on, I guess we could just sit here and wait on TradeZilla to load up. So while we wait on TradeZilla, just gonna walk you guys through the thought process. So I was initially thinking that the price was gonna continue to fall. Basically, I jumped in like, wait, well, we're selling, we're downtrending. Let me just ride the wave down so I can get in lower to buy in when the big guys get in, right? So this was my thought process. But again, like I said, I should only be looking for buys, right? So I should be waiting for price to come down into this area and then buy. So according to my strategy and the way that I trade, I usually like to find a lot of my entries from my higher time frame, and this basically right here says weekly support. Basically is letting me know that this is a weekly buying area. So my higher time frame area that the banks and institutions are buying in is right here at 184.772. So I already know this because of the way my strategy is set up. So like I said, rule number one, I should have only been taking, well, tip number one, only be taking buys. So that was my first mistake when trading this trade. The second tip, even if I am in a sell, and let's just say I knew I was counter trend trading, breaking my rules, but it was a good trade, whatever, blase, blase. Sometimes we like to be a little aggressive and a little risky, that if you know what you're doing, you're able to trade against the trend if you know what you're doing. And I knew what I was doing. As we can clearly see, I got into the right trade, but I was just too early. I got into the move late. The move didn't happen until like 7 in the morning. You see, I entered at like around 2. something, and then the move didn't happen until 7 a.m. is when the market actually dropped. So I was just a few hours too early. But my bias was correct. I did believe that the market was going to drop. However, when the market got here, I thought that the market was going to continue to drop. But had I been following my rules from the start, I would have understood that I'm in a weekly buyer's zone, a weekly buyer's area, and this is a potential possibility that price can continue to go up. So once price came and made this candle here, let me go to the 1 hour. So I'm basically seeing, okay, price has found support, but price is not holding support. And this is basically what I'm seeing right here. And I believe I got into another sell at the end of this candle. And this was around, I believe, like 10 a.m. TradeZilla is acting funny. Yeah, you see TradeZilla is acting funny. So I'm trying to show you guys on TradeZilla the exact price point for a trade. Let me go here and see. Yeah, TradeZilla is just taking way too long right now. But I got into another sell position here, seeing that, okay, the market has broken structures. The buyers have yet to come in at this point. So I'm thinking price is going to continue to buy. Now, one thing that I did do right, which is tip number 2 that I can applaud myself for, is stop losses. Make sure your stop losses are in. Whatever stop loss that you're comfortable with, make sure you have stop losses in just in case the trade goes your way. Now, had I not had my stop losses in, and I was just thinking a price is going to go in my favor and this is the winning trade, you know, it seems like every trade you take, you think you're going to win, right? This is why it's important to have those stop losses in. This trade went completely against me and would have blew my entire account. Like I said, I didn't blow my account on this trade, but I did take a significant loss, which is just higher than I normally take. I usually don't like to lose no more than $100, $200, depending on the size of the account that I'm trading. I usually don't like to use no more than 10 to 20% max on a single trade. So this particular trade, I'm trading a $1,000 account. I pretty much lost 50, 60%, like 500, almost $600 on this one trade, which ultimately blew my confidence, destroyed my confidence, and then had me basically not necessarily revenge trading, because I don't revenge trading, but it just made me give up on the account and just say, hey, what the hey, I'm going to just go extremely aggressive, I'm just going to get extremely aggressive on the next trade, because I pretty much felt like I already blew the account. So I'm not even like interested in that account anymore. So I'm like, hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to get aggressive. If the trade goes my way, it's going to make up for some of the loss that I did take. And if it doesn't, the account is blown and I need to re-upload my account anyway. So that was basically my mindset after I took this loss on this trade. So like I said, what did save me was tip number 2 is always have a stop loss in. Because who would have thought that this trade would have did 513 pips in 1 hour, well, 2 hours, because this is 504 pips or something. These are 1 hour candles, so 1 hour and 2 hours. So in 2 hours, Trump sends out a tweet and the market booms up 513 pips. So third thing, tip number 1, always you want to be buying in the market. Tip number 2, you always want to make sure you have a stop loss in. That's one of the things that save me. And tip number 3 is make sure you're closing profit. Had I took a buy, so let's just say hypothetically speaking, if I was not paying attention to the news, because this week I've been watching the news kind of heavy, looking at this, looking at that, trying to see what the hell is going on with these trade wars. You know, trying to get some type of direction of where we're going. So me watching the news basically changed my bias. And I'm like, you know what? Well, the market has been dropping because Monday and Tuesday, the market dropped significantly. So I'm like, hey, maybe today is Wednesday, the market will keep dropping. Trump sends out a tweet, boom, the market is instantly back up with its 3rd greatest day in history of the stock market. And I'm just like, damn. Because had I been trading my strategy, had I not watched the news, had I been just went back to the basics, went back to what I usually do, I would have been looking for a buy in this area, because I know that on the weekly time frame, the buyers and the institutions lived down here, 184.772. That is the price point. That is the level that the big guys were buying from. So if I would have just followed my normal routine, my normal system, everything that I normally do, this would have probably been one of the best trades if I would have taken profit, right? which is tip number 3. When you're trading, if you're trading in these Trump markets, make sure you are closing profits. It's one thing to see that you're floating and you want to flex on Instagram, you want to do this, you want to do that, but until the trade is actually realized, until you actually close the trade, it does not count. So you cannot get happy. You know, but like the guys that always, they get the girl number and they be going back telling everybody, I got a number, I got a number. But it's like, do you understand that it really don't count until you actually score? Y'all know what I mean? You gotta actually score. So you can brag all day about how you got the girl number, y'all went out to eat, but until you score, it means nothing to the game. You come back trying to tell the boys what you done did. If you didn't score, it does not matter. Same thing in trading. If you're not taking profits, it does not matter how much you are up. Does not matter how much money or how big a trade have gotten. Until you actually close and hit TP, close your trade, then it actually counts. So that is basically my 3 tips in trading in this Trump administration. And when you're trading in this Trump administration, this is the new administration. For the people that already know how Trump is back in 2016, Trump is going to make the markets move. He's going to give the markets some nice, really good moves that you can really capitalize on. As long as you have the understanding, you know what you're doing, there's going to be a lot of millionaires being made over the next 4 years, period. So let's recap. Tip number 1, trading in Trump markets. You always want to be looking for buy opportunities, regardless of whatever the news is saying, regardless of all this fundamental crap. These people are not going to let the market crash. If they let the market crash, they're not going to make no more money. So what's more important than me, what's more important than you, is them making money by any means. They're not going to let the market crash. They're going to make it look as bloody as it wants to look. They're going to purposely do things to get price cheaper to buy in. That way, while everybody is running away from the markets, hey, the market is this, the market is that, the market is falling, worst day in here, see whoop-de-whoop. These people are loading up. Because then, after they're already loaded up on the dip, prices then going to make some new all-time highs. There's going to be some record breakings. Prices then going to be back way up here. They're going to be selling. And then you know who's going to be wanting to get in? The retail traders. The people that don't know anything about trading, that don't have the knowledge, they're going to try to get in at the top. The moment they get in is when the market is going to fall, because all of the big guys are going to be taking out of it. They're going to be taking their profits away. So make sure you're looking for nothing but buy opportunities. Tip number 2, make sure you have your stop loss in. Every trade is not going to be a winning trade. So just think that, damn, if this trade is a losing trade, what would I not mind losing? Make sure your stop loss is adjusted to your system, adjusted to your strategy. I recommend losing no more than 10%. That's kind of highballing it. I know a lot of people say no risk, no more than 1-2%. That is bull crap. You're not going to get far. It's going to take you a really, really long time risking 1-2% of your account, especially trading Forex. Forex, they give you leverage. Utilize the leverage. Just understand it's a double-edged sword. It can help you make a lot of money. It can also lose. It can help you lose a lot of money. But regardless, none of that matters if your stop loss is in. As long as you have your stop loss in, I'm not talking about having an area of where you're going to probably get out at. I'm talking about actually typing in the stop loss in your stop loss bar and hitting confirm on your MT4 or TradingView, on TradeLock, wherever you're trading, whatever your trading platform is. Make sure you have that stop loss numbers in there. That way, when it hits, it's automatically going to take you out. You don't have to do no more decision making, knowing, damn, should I get out here? Should I keep holding? Is it going to come back? It's going to do the decision making for you. It's going to automatically take you out. And tip number 3, make sure you guys are taking profit. Nothing means nothing until the clock hit 00. So you do all this fancy stuff in the game. You can shoot half court shots. You can do all of this, but until the clock hits 00 and it's finally said and done, that is when you can celebrate. Until you're actually out of the trade and the trades are realized and you actually close TP, then you can brag and show everybody what you will. But while you're in the process of the trade, while the trade is currently running, going up and down, don't get too happy. You've been in that position before. Don't let it happen to where the market is going to pull back, take all of your money that you've just made and some of your money too. Don't let that happen. Make sure you're putting in those TPs. So these were my 3 tips. Trading in the Trump market. The Trump market is going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. But as long as you guys are looking for nothing but buy opportunities, as long as you guys have your stop losses in, and as long as you guys are taking profit, you guys should be the next millionaires over the next 4 years. So it is Don't Play Trent. If you guys have found any value to this video, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button so we can get trendy. Let all your friends and family know that your boy Don't Play Trent is back and we on YouTube snapping. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section below. If you guys need help learning how to trade, please go ahead and join my group chat right now. It is free. But starting next month on my birthday, I'm going to be charging for all this juice. So join my group chat, learn how to trade, take every trade that I'm taking. We winning and losing together. So my group chat lost this week because this week was a really tough week. But the week prior, we had one of our biggest weeks. And you just got to understand this trading, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, as long as we come out profitable at the end, that's really all that matters. I just want to be transparent and understand, like, this is trading, you're investing, not everything is guaranteed. So we did take a couple beats, we did take a couple punches this week, but we still in the game, we still in the fight. We're going to be back ready to trade this week. Looks like Trump has tweeted some good news out, so when the good news, Trump tweeting good news, we know that the market possibly is going to be moving in an uptrend buying direction. So make sure you guys are buying. And again, it is Don't Play Trent. I am checking out. I will see y'all on the next video.